If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? We have perverts.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a black pastor torching a school board meeting over some books that your children may have access to. Now, before we get into the full video, let's back up a little bit to explain what's going on here. Now, John Amanchukwu Sr. is a pastor, a father, a husband, and also an activist. He is against critical race theory, the racist practice of abortion, and also the education system indoctrinating your children into the LGBT lifestyle and other things. Now, in the school board meeting we're going to get to in a moment, he was reading from a book called It's Perfectly Normal. This book masquerades itself as some kind of educational tool, sex ed or something like that, but really it's very, very perverted to the point where if you were to read some of this book in front of other adults with no children around, it would still be inappropriate. And that begs the question, why is it available to children? Why is it a children's book if adults are not comfortable reading it to each other? Now, before I go any further, let's go ahead and roll the clip. If you want to see it in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
This book here, it's called It's Perfectly Normal.
So let me just go back a little bit. That's the book right there. Now, this is not a book promotion. Don't get it misunderstood. But if your kids have this book, if you see this in their room, if you see it in the library, you need to call the police. You need to get it out of there. You need to take action immediately. No crazy stuff, no violence. I'm not advocating for that. But get this book out of your kids' access. And shout out to his hoodie. It says God over government.
Normal. I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's becomes erect, stiff, and larger. Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain a few sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? We have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs, but you don't want me to read it. Why? Does it bother you? Yes or no? You can't answer that question. You want to know why? Because politically speaking, you can't say that it's wrong.
Let's pause for a minute. What he said right there was right. You can't answer the question. Why were they so quick to shut him down and not let him read from this so-called children's book because it's pornographic, it's disgusting, it's nasty? Why are you so quick to stop him from reading the book? But then when he says, hey, well, if you don't want to hear it, then why do the kids have access to it? You don't want to say a word. You don't want to say a word, but you just said that it's inappropriate. You are uncomfortable with me reading it. So let's just be all the way serious and answer the question. And if you can't answer the question, that means you are politically beholden, maybe even financially beholden to outside interests that don't have the best interest for our children. And that is a conflict of interest.
And you don't want me to read the filth because it exposes the truth. How dare you tell me to stop reading it? If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
That makes two of us.
Very, very well done. Shout out to John Amanchukwu Sr., husband, father, pastor. I'll link to information about him in the description box if you guys want to check him out. I think he has a book called Erased with a C. I'll link to everything in the box. But, it's going to take parents. It's going to take those of us that I don't have any kids, but if you have kids, if you have any kind of involvement with schools, if you have children, it's going to take people like yourself and everybody else to step forward and put an end to this, because these people are perverts. Like you said, they're perverts and they want to ruin your children. They want to brainwash and indoctrinate your children. We got a lot of these cartoons and whatnot with a bunch of LGBT themes in it. And it's not hard to tell what they want. They want your they want your children. They want your kids. Now, here is another example of this kind of thing that ties right into what he was reading. A lot of these children's books that the left say that we shouldn't be banning. Oh, you shouldn't ban these books. You guys like Nazi Germany. Well, I don't think children should have access to pornographic material in the library. I don't think you should be in the third grade reading a book like that two adults are not even comfortable reading to each other. Okay, but here's another thing that happened recently. This happened back in March of this year, but the story is on New York Post right now. Not today, but yesterday. You see what it says here. Parents call police after Illinois teacher offers LGBT book to her students. Now, they called the police, which is the right thing to do, because what happened was the book, it circulated. The parents saw what was inside. I think maybe even the kids took pictures of what was inside. And the name of the book is called This Book is Gay. Now, we're talking about little kids, middle school kids. Why are you reading about sexuality in the book, about LGBT in the book? First. Second, the things that were in the book were pretty gross. And the teacher had been there for 20 years. Now, I'm not sure if she just got recently radicalized and started to offer up things like this. But yeah, the book has instructions on how to use gay dating apps, well, gay sex apps. It also has instructions on how to have male on male relations. So again, we're talking about things that are kind of taboo for adults to even discuss. Like if I was to go speak about a book like this at family reunion, there's going to be a problem. Okay. Even if there's no kids around, it's all adults. That's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward at best. So why should children have access to this kind of stuff? We know what's going on. We know this is why there's such a high number of people in Gen Z, the very young generation that identifies LGBT. I saw a graph somewhere, and if I can find it, I'll link to it in the description, where every generation up to Gen Z had about the same level of LGBT identifying people. It was always the same. But then as soon as like the end of millennial and then Gen Z, it spikes through the roof. I think before young millennial, like 1 to 3% of the population at best identify as LGBT. And you go all the way to Gen Z, it's like 20%. Are we surprised? Now, some are going to say, well, ABL, look, it's because we're more free now. We're more open. I mean, are we? I think we probably were more open back during the 70s, the flower generation, Woodstock generation. Even during that time, with all the free love and free drugs, it still want all this LGBT stuff going on. The reason why there's so much LGBT is because of the indoctrination from a young age. Like, you probably would never even thought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, let me come back so you can see me clearly. You probably never thought about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that a boy could, quote unquote, become a girl and it'd be accepted. It wouldn't even be any kind of no backlash to say, you know what, maybe a 9 or 10-year-old boy shouldn't be on puberty blockers or hormone blockers, and they shouldn't be getting surgery, gender affirmation surgery, whatever it is. But here we are. Maybe girls shouldn't be getting mastectomies at 13 years old, but here we are. Maybe they shouldn't be having parts of their forearm removed to create a fake phallus, but here we are. These things cause the exponential rise in the LGBTQ affiliation. Now, to those that may be in that community, it's nothing against you. I'm just against the indoctrination of children. Do whatever you want, as I close, as an adult. Do whatever you want. But why can't you leave the kids alone? If you can't leave the children alone, I think I know why. And it's not hard to tell. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with the indoctrination of our children in K through 12, early K? We're talking about really K through 5. By the time they get to the middle school, high school, it's already complete. They're just trying to finish them off and create a finished product. But the real indoctrination and brainwashing begins at very young ages. Preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, when the child is first developing their mind and realizing the world around them. That's when the brainwashing happens. And it just continues all throughout their life, throughout the entire K through 12 career, in college and in the workplace, on social media, out in the street, everywhere. But whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments below how you feel about some of these books that are being banned. Do you think it's a good thing that some of these books are being banned, or is it a bad thing? Freedom of speech, ABL. Let's let kindergartners read pornographic material. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. You an adult, do whatever you want to do. Leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids alone. It's not difficult to understand. And if you can't leave the kids alone, I think I know why. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.